Hello, AJ. How you doing, mate?
Frank, it's really wet out there.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? I've been out earlier on in the day because I managed to sneak out for a coffee, and I lost my glasses.
Whoops.
So yeah, I lost my glasses. I was absolutely adamant that I'd lost them, and I couldn't find them because I had to search at home when I got back, thinking to myself, they must be here. Went back out again to take Elizabeth for a scan to Ormskirk Hospital, and on the way back we called back at Cafe Nerd. Mm-hmm. I call it Cafe Nerd, it's Cafe Nero, of course.
Oh, honestly.
So, yeah, well listen, if they're going to pay us to advertise on this show, I'll call them Cafe Nero. Well, for now it's Cafe Nerd. So anyway, we've gone back there, and I said to Elizabeth, just have a look on the car park first before you go anywhere else. And there they were, smashed to smithereens in the car park. But I was extremely happy, because Rowena had lost her glasses a few weeks ago, still hasn't got a clue where they are. And of course, at least I found mine.
Yeah, you can really one-up her on that one when you sort of show her your absolute.
Well, I've already told her that. So anyway, I went into B&M, which is just across the road, and I decided to buy another pair of reading glasses. Now,
treated yourself.
Yeah, well, you know what? The thing is now, so I've got one pair of reading glasses in the car, and I've got two in the house. Well, I've actually got three in the house. But I've started collecting reading glasses because, for some reason, Rowena keeps putting... I mean, these are a little bit like sort of Eric and Ernie style, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely 1970s style.
I was thinking Dame Edna, but yeah.
They're not quite as bad as Dame Edna, but...
I don't know.
Do I look a bit daft with them on?
Not quite. I'll tell you who you look like. You look like Philip Larkin.
Philip
Larkin?
Larkin? Out of the Larkin family?
Yeah, the poet. The big glasses.
Out of the poet?
Yeah. You never heard of Philip Larkin?
No, I've heard of the Larkins, but that was a TV programme, wasn't it?
No, Philip Larkin was a...
I'm not big into poetry, I must admit.
Apparently not. You don't know Philip Larkin.
No, well, let's have a look at him. And for those of you at home, you won't be able to visualise this, but then you will be able to Google who Phil Larkin is. And I'm ready with me swing in action. For Pete's sake. Oh, you can't. Listen, you've got to go to Google to see what he's on about there, because I do not look at all like you swine, yeah. That's not fair.
You say the receding hairline's defending the corner. It's far back.
Well, I've actually gone full receded. I've not got a little bit of hair on the sides.
No, you've just accepted fate.
I don't know what that is. Well, I'm not wearing them again. But yeah, the point of raising there is that for some reason I'm searching around for glasses and Rowena's hidden them, and that's probably for the reason she probably knows who Phil Larkin is, and she thinks I look like him.
She might do, yeah.
So anyway, I went and bought a new pair of reading glasses to add to the collection, so I can see in time for the show and see what we're doing, of course. So what have you been up to?
Just getting ready for Christmas, to be honest, mate.
Have you noticed the traffic's just sort of gone bizarre?
Yeah. So there was roadworks outside my house today, so I had to block a bit of oncoming traffic in order to pull out my driveway and get going to come to you. And if one half of the road is clear, then I will drive across it and then wait for the other half to go clear before. Yeah. I don't care if there's like an absolute procession of traffic. If there's a gap, you can wait while I pull out.
My next door neighbour's like that. Yeah. She just pulls out and
she
says, sorry, hang on a minute. I live here.
Exactly.
I pay more tax here for council tax too, so I'm going to reverse whatever.
Exactly.
And whenever.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you've done.
Yes.
And yours is a really dangerous road. It's more dangerous than here, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about living on my road, although it's a lovely house, but it's a busy old road, whereas yours is quiet, but there's more dark areas, jagged edges, tight turns, dips in the road, all of that carry on. Yeah.
But going back to the traffic again, it's unbelievable. For some reason now, everybody's going out every single hour of the day.
Yeah,
I don't know where they found the town.
No, I don't. I don't know how you're not just sort of shopping and panic buying and all of that carry on, to be quite honest.
Well, I left here early enough on Monday morning because I had an appointment at the hospital at 8:30 for physio. Totally another story there because I didn't actually get physio. Because as you know now, physios won't touch you unless they do a scan first. So
fabulous.
I've got to go for one of them scans in one of them chambers, which kills me.
That's great.
Because my back is bad enough as it is, but staying in one position, lying on your back
for about 6 minutes.
Oh, it's awful. And I've later on in life I've become a little bit, as well as not scared of heights, but height conscious. I'm also now claustrophobic.
I see.
Yeah. So if I'm in a lift for long enough, I get a bit claustrophobic.
Yeah, I don't do lifts.
You don't do lifts yourself?
I do not do lifts. I will take 17 flights of stairs instead.
So anyway, I was heading out, handy enough, 7:30, headed out to Ormskirk Hospital. There's traffic lights on my road, as you know.
I do.
So I got around the corner, and then there was a procession of traffic there. And I think there was it bin wagons? I can't remember what was out, but something was out. And then there was a curb cleaner. That was out. That slowed me down. There was another set of roadworks somewhere. Eventually got into Ormskirk, couldn't find a parking spec. Went and had to go and park further away from the hospital and walk in, and I was late. So walked in, there must have been about 30 people in the waiting room. I walked up to the receptionist, said, "I'm awful sorry, I said I'm late, but I've been trying to find somewhere to park."
Yeah, that's never an excuse
anyway,
that just flies.
Well, my physiotherapist was right at the door there, and she turned around, she said, "Mr. Hughes." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Come in straight away."
Oh.
So I went in straight away, and everybody behind me was going, "Oh, bloody hell."
God damn it.
I've been waiting for ages, and he just walks in late.
It just swans in.
Yeah. So, I mean, after all of that, as you know, the story is I'm dosed up on paracetamol and tramadol. I was hoping to get a little bit of physio, but she wouldn't touch me due to the fact, like I say, she's got to scan me first. But the only thing I did get was, rather than get fast-tracked, I said, "Can you wait till after Christmas? I really, really don't want to. I don't want that level of pain before Christmas."
Yeah, I can understand the sense in that.
So, yeah.
But you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Just about standing.
Yeah, just about standing. Feeling a bit better, actually, to be fair, since my change of medication has kicked in.
Good.
Yeah. I'm not doing any better at the bingo as a result, though.
Yes, you won. Did you win a $5 when I spoke to you on Wednesday?
I won a $5 the other day. Yeah,
Outstanding news.
I think I might have doubled that. I might have won a tenner.
Right.
20.
So
did I win another 20?
So you had enough petrol money to get you home.
Yeah, it's really, really expensive bingo these days anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But, yeah, listen, we'll talk about it later on in the show. I went to watch Richard Brodie's City of Liverpool on Tuesday night with Craig and Tommy Lawson. So we had a good night out, if nothing else.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because I didn't receive an invite.
Well, it was very, very late on. It was, like I said before the show, it was a choice between that or the bungalow. The bungalow is code word for bingo. I just don't want to. I just don't want people to think I'm a
bingo obsessed,
an old person.
Yeah.
So my code name for I tell Rowena now, don't call it the bingo in public. Call it the bungalow. So she calls it the bungalow.
That's a bit more of a secret hideaway, that one. That's a bit more of a bygone throwback to your 30s.
Well, it sounds as though I've got property here, there, and everywhere.
It does sound like you've got property here, there, and everywhere.
So have you been watching anything on the telly? You've had no time.
No, is the honest answer. No, I have not.
Well, I managed to complete the full series of 24 Legacy. And I thought it was something that was made recently. I didn't realise it was made as far back as 2017.
Oh, really?
I've waited 8 years to watch that, and it was absolutely outstanding. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So, well recommended. But then I recommend 24 start to finish when Kiefer Sutherland was in it.
Yeah, so you've said. I will bear that one in mind. What's your favourite Christmas song? Just as a final
my favourite Christmas song, really, really good that you mentioned this, because I was singing it last night, and it's called Driving Home for Christmas.
Yes!
You like that one as well?
It's my favourite too, Chris Rea.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so I was at County Hall on Monday in Central Preston, and on the way back, I put that song on, and then my phone screen decided to freeze, and I couldn't skip any of the songs at all, and it was a choice between that and the radio, so I just stuck with that. So I just had Driving Home for Christmas playing on repeat for the 40-minute car journey through Preston and down the M6.
It's not that bad, really.
It's really not that bad, no, and I was absolutely fine with that going on for 40 minutes. I've not listened to it since Monday, though. It probably gives you an indication.
Do you get annoyed if you don't get caught up in top to tailbacks?
Not as much.
When the song's on?
No, because I took a look at the driver next to me, and he's just the same.
I love it. Yes, that's great. Then I love singing the song. By the way, it's one of my favourite all-time songs. I was singing another song. What was I singing? A Shakin' Stevens one.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and the other one I don't think it was his, but Blue Christmas.
I've never heard that one. Is that Elvis?
I think it might.
Yeah, that sounds like
Christmas.
Elvis. Yeah, that sounds like Elvis.
You beside me.
Oh yeah, it'll be lonely this Christmas. Yeah, I'm sure that is Elvis. I'm sure that's Elvis.
There's loads of them, isn't there? They get repeated all the time.
You do.
That's funny, really, because we're talking about Shakin' Stevens, and then what popped up on me socials just before you arrived?
You were invited to like Shakin' Stevens.
No, Shakin' Stevens beating up Richard Madeley on live TV.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what program it was, but Richard Madeley turned around and said, "You're sort of old school rock and roll."
Yeah.
And he took exception to that, so he started. It was a little bit Emu-esque, where he was sort of grabbing him round the neck and jumping on him.
Yeah.
But to be perfectly honest with you, I thought Shakin' Stevens is a bit of a prat.
I mean, he doesn't raise any other headlines apart from this 1 month of the year when his Christmas song comes out.
Yeah, we've never heard of him since.
Exactly. You never heard of him before or since.
No, and he certainly won't have heard of us. So me turning around and saying he's a bit of a prat won't make any difference.
No.
So listen, before we get ourselves into any more trouble, should we get on with the show?
We should really, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. I'm Frank Hughes, the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and alongside me is my co-host and passionate press officer, AJ Vergette. Not that being involved with the football club is a prerequisite for hosting a football podcast, but it certainly helps. We are ready to dive headfirst into the vibrant world of non-league football in the Northwest, and we might even take a moment to discuss some of the bigger headlines in the sport. We'll explore life in the Northwest counties, bring you interviews with well-known faces in the league, and analyse how local teams are performing while making bold predictions for their upcoming matches. Nothing is off the limits here. We'll be diving into all kinds of topics, including complicated refereeing decisions and regulations that often leave fans perplexed. We want to hear from you too. This is your show, so don't hesitate to reach out with topics you want us to tackle. Let's get this conversation started and enjoy every single moment. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. This is episode 23 of Season 2, and a very warm welcome to my co-host AJ.
Ho ho ho, mother footballers! It's good to be back in the chair for one last ride before 2025 draws to a close. So thank you very much for tuning in with us today. So coming up on this seasonal special. No, it's not a seasonal special. No, I'm not even wearing a Santa hat. It's business as usual here before we break up for Christmas. So on the show, we're going to do a Northwest Counties roundup. We're going to look at Widnes Town, Macclesfield Town and the FA Trophy because all sorts of bits and bobs are going on there. The draw for the FA Trophy fourth round has been made, so we'll highlight the particular favourable draws of interest. We're going to go to Controversial Corner where Bury are a particular highlight, and then also Farsley Celtic, who we know we haven't covered for quite a while, but there's still bits going on over in Yorkshire. We'll finish off then with our fixtures, predictions, expert analysis, and then Skelmersdale United. There's no guest today, so we're just going to do it in one big present for you. So, Frank.
Yeah, well, listen, we're going to start the top of the show by extending our condolences to the family of Ethan McLeod, all family, friends, and of course Macclesfield Town. His life was tragically ended on Tuesday night in a road accident when returning from an away game. I would just like to extend our sincere condolences to everybody. It's really... It puts football into perspective. It doesn't really mean that much, but no. I'm sure he will live on as a legend.
Oh yeah,
in everyone's hearts and minds moving forward. So
very much so. Yeah, 21 years of age. It's nothing. It's no. He had so much of his life ahead of him, but equally he achieved so much in the time that he was alive and well, and he did things that. The rest of us could only dream of, and I hope that brings a tiny crumb of comfort.
I think you mentioned they've called the game off.
Yes, Macclesfield have postponed their game at the weekend, which I think was almost an inevitability.
Yeah, most
really.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I hope very much that they get back on the pitch with clearer heads as soon as they can and play for Ethan.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, before we get into the North West Counties roundup, probably a good sort of time really, because it is the end of the year, is to thank all our guests throughout the year of 2025. We've had some really, really good and fascinating guests on. Occasionally we don't have a guest on because time doesn't help us. So in terms of research and what have you, it's much easier to put on a show without a guest. So that's what we do. But listen, we are indebted to all the wonderful guests that we've had on over the year. Maybe a good sort of starting point is to ask you your favourite guest of this year.
Oh, you can't do that.
I know, well, not your favourite guest. I mean, because they've all been great in their own way, haven't they?
Yeah, we have.
I think if you're looking at episodes that stood out, I think... I'm assuming it is in 2025 when we spoke to Paul Barthorpe, is it?
Well, Paul Barthorpe springs to mind. I think it was about February time that we ended up speaking to Paul, and we were the one of the first and indeed only shows that he ended up making a guest appearance on, despite all the noise around him at the time, and it was really good of him to come on the show and be so kind of front and centre about the issues at Farsley Celtic. So a deeply memorable one. I think
and a bit of a coup for us, really.
Oh, a huge coup! Yeah, we got him on our show when there were big YouTubers and Twitter handlers that didn't, despite making a lot of noise around him. I suppose for me, one of my favourite guests is Tony Young, the superfan from Blythe Spartans, who came to a wider attention of the non-league faithful when he performed a very impassioned rant at the players of his team, Blythe Spartans, after a 5-1 defeat to Bamber Bridge. He then subsequently came on the show as a fan, and it was a different angle that we'd taken from guests, because usually we have people who are involved in football as a volunteer, whether it be a chairman or a referee or a player or a manager, something like that. But he was the first fan that we ever had on, and he brought a completely different angle to what it means to be involved in non-league. So, and I really enjoyed Tony's kind of down to earth but very impassioned angle on non-league football.
And the other one that sort of stood out was Tom McGrew, really. I've not heard much of him since, but it wasn't the best in terms of production sound-wise, because he was waiting in
He was in an airport.
In an airport, ready to travel from, was it Vancouver or somewhere? I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah. He was somewhere where we could really have done without him being at this point. We could have done with him being in the prayer room, quite honestly, if he was going to be anywhere within the airport. But it was a noisy one, to say the least. And as for Hamley Town themselves, they were relegated from the was it the Northern
Premier League?
Yeah, at the end of last season. So
was it East? Northern Premier League East?
I think it was the Northern Premier League Premier, wasn't it? And then they dropped down to Northern Premier League East, I think. And they've kind of dropped off our radar since then. We really should check in on these people and just see how they're all getting on.
Well, talking about people that we've had on the show that have not been particularly sort of directly involved in football. We had Dale Woods Senior.
We did have Dale Woods Senior. Yeah,
following his son's game against Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Josh Woods is his son playing for Accrington Stanley, and he's got another son who plays for Warrington Town. I think it's Dale Woods Jr. actually, who plays for Warrington as well. So he's got two sons who are very heavily involved in the game, and Dale Senior, his angle is more golf than anything else really. But just understanding how it is to be a parent of a successful footballer. It's another angle that we never envisioned, really. But ultimately, what we've been able to do on this show is build an awful lot of bridges with a lot of teams up and down, mainly the north of England, but some in the Midland region, Staffordshire area. As well. We're looking at the gentlemen mainly from Market Drayton Town and Telford Town and Eccleshall, who we've spoken to within the last 6 months as well.
So we've covered a broad spectrum. We've not just concentrated on the North West Counties Premier Division. No. We've gone north, south, and we've got a little bit sort of out of our comfort zone with speaking to people from Farsley Celtic, as we said. And we'll mention Farsley Celtic later on in the show. But listen, once again, thank you very much to all our guests throughout the year of 2025. We're absolutely delighted that you've been on the show.
We certainly are.
And wish you all the best for 2026. So we move on to our North West Counties roundup.
Yes, we do.
Starting with the Premier Division. So Padiham took advantage of Withenshawe's lack of action since last Wednesday, taking over the top with a 3-0 win over the City of Liverpool on Saturday.
Yep.
Surprisingly, Padiham are yet to play West Didsbury, who I believe are in third place. But West Didsbury beat Abbey Hay last Friday night 2-1, and it's still in that third spot, as I say. But with those two games against Padiham to be played, they could still be considered as championship material if, of course, they beat them twice. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
I think West Didsbury and Chorlton would probably say that they got away with it a little bit against Abbey Hay. It took a 92nd minute winner from Sean Moscrop to beat the Gorton side, a bit of a local derby there in Greater Manchester. But nonetheless, it was those games that you do really have to win to ensure any kind of mainstay within the top three, because it is so topsy-turvy within that Premier League pack up at the top. Just 5 points separating first from fourth, and we said at the beginning of the season that we believe West Didsbury and Chorlton are going to be one of those teams that are still going to remain within that pack, and so they prove. As for Withenshawe, they're starting to turn on the style a little bit more, aren't they? So they won, as you say, 3-0 against City of Liverpool, and they didn't play at the weekend due to a waterlogged pitch, although they were due to play Burscough, a very challenging game. But
I was going to mention Burscough. Sorry to jump in there, but Burscough, since dropping out of both cup competitions, Liverpool Senior Cup and the FA Vars, seem to be having a little bit of a blip at the moment.
Certainly.
Just a little bit of a blip.
Just a little bit of a blip, yeah. They've lost their last 3 games in a row, and have just won twice in their last 6. Yeah. It's, like you say, it's not a worrying time for them, but if they're going to stay ahead of the... if they're going to catch up with anybody within that chasing pack, having now been surpassed by Chadderton, they are now down in 8th place.
They need a good festive period.
They really need a good festive period. 12 wins and 9 defeats from 23 games, 2 draws added into there as well. If you're going to be playoff challengers, you're going to need to turn that around enormously.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, nobody likes a 9-0 battering, but I think I said at the top of the show, that's exactly what happened to the City of Liverpool. Like I say, Craig and Tommy were alongside me at the game.
Yep.
But I have to say, Chadderton were absolutely outstanding. We've talked about Lewis Byrne a lot. He scored 5 goals, and Benito Lowe scored a brace.
Yep.
They stood out alongside their winger. Pronunciation-wise, Tawab Jangpata, is that correct?
Tawab Jangpata, he played against us last season for Droylsden, but he played at wing back. It was absolutely outrageous how good he was. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't surprise me that he's moved on to slightly bigger and better things with Chadderton. It looks like he's finding his feet there very much so. But a 9-0 defeat probably underlines the scale of how difficult it is to be City of Liverpool at this point. We understand, obviously, that they're not bottom. They're not even second from bottom. But they appear to be having not even just bad luck. It just appears like they're just in a very, very sorry state of affairs.
Well, they've scored 2 goals and they've conceded 40 in the last 6 matches. That sort of... That highlights everything, doesn't it? Really?
It really does, yeah.
And I have to say, though, to be fair, Richard Brodie's side, they didn't give up. I know people will look at the context, or they won't look at the context, but the context of the matter is that they were losing 5-0 before their goalkeeper was substituted. Alex Priestley came on and played in goal. Former Scam player, did all right to be fair, and would have done his dad very proud. As people know, Phil Priestley is the goalkeeping coach at Harrogate Town. Extremely good goalkeeper in his own sort of era.
In his own era. Why was the goalkeeper substituted?
I think there was a collision at some stage during the game. I think he tried to carry on. Could possibly be in a dislocated elbow or a severely bruised one. He just couldn't carry on, so I think he had problems with his arm. Bearing in mind, Benito Lowe had to come off early as well, because I think he I don't know whether he broke a bone in his wrist or whatever, but he was absolutely outstanding. What a player. And he's got the style of a footballer as well. He's got the ponytail, and you know, he just looks the part.
He just looks the part, does he?
Yeah.
Any anticipation that Byrne and Lowe will be playing a bit higher up next season, regardless of whether Chadderton make it or not?
I just can't understand why they're not.
No. So
he did. I mean, both played at Bury last season, didn't they?
They certainly did. Byrne was a particularly newsworthy transfer because he made the move mid-season after already having plundered about 20-25 goals for Chadderton before making the move over to Gig Lane, where he was a lot less effective in front of goal, and that's largely down to how he was played. So Byrne played behind DJ Pedro, who was the out-and-out number 9. And if you look at how Byrne plays, he always plays on the shoulder of the last defender. He is a proper number 9 in his own right. But to play a bit deeper as he was doing for Bury just kind of stunted his progress, and it was probably worth it to move back to Chadderton.
And he's one of those players that you don't notice until he starts scoring. And he's just here, there and everywhere. They just...
Yeah. I mean, he's scored. We have the goal scoring charts actually, and Lewis Byrne, it's probably no surprise that he sits atop the statistics there, having plundered 36 goals this season. That's 11 more than the next placed player in the charts, which is Elliot Taylor of AFC Liverpool, who's on 25.
Well, to put it even in greater context, so he's played 31 league games and 5 cup games, and he's scored 36. A goal a game, that is up there with anyone, isn't it?
He's scored 31 league goals and 5 cup goals, but he's played. Chadderton have only played 23 league games.
Oh, right.
It's more than a goal a game, really.
Oh, hang on a minute.
When you think about it like that.
I'm getting cross-eyed here now because they haven't played 31 games, have they, like you said?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, forget all of that. Okay, he scored 31 league goals and 5 cup goals. So 36 goals in anybody's...
That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
We're not even at Christmas and he scored 31. Do you reckon he could get to 50?
Oh, listen, I think he'll do that without a shadow of a doubt. And I'd love to know the last time anybody scored 50 goals in the North West Counties. It's not a feat that is often achieved. I know back in the day there was Robbie Cowley, played for both Bearscough and Skem, and he scored goals for fun. I don't know whether Stuart Rudd ever scored 50 goals in one season, but really difficult. Need to sort of track through all the archives to find out.
We need to look at Kevin Lawton, the statistician for the Northwest Counties, and just see if he is able to delve into the archives, as you say, and find out if anybody has scored 50 goals, and then also what the record is for the goal scoring feat in a single season at Northwest Counties level, to see whether Lewis Byrne is
heading towards that.
He's heading towards eclipsing that.
Because what we're working out now, he's got roughly... He's
got about 20 games.
23 games?
20, yeah, exactly. He's got 23 games.
If he doubles that, if he goes anywhere near to doubling it, it's 60, 70 goals, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. So we might have more news on that one after we come back from the Christmas break.
So Kevin Lawton, look deep into your stats and tell us, get in touch with us and let us know who the leading goal scorer, all-time goal scorer is in the Northwest Counties, because I'd love to know that. But pretty sure it might be Robbie Cowley.
Okay.
I've got a feeling, but then it might have been broken many times before. Okay. I don't know. It's just I seem to remember back in the day he was scoring 50-odd goals a season. A lot of goals, isn't it? But there's a lot more games now than there would have been back then. So you'd have probably been about 22 teams back then. So, on a ratio scheme, I don't know who would be the greater goal scorer, but you're certainly heading that way anyway. Anyway, so listen, we get back on track here. So what I was going to say to you is really at the end of the game, well, before the game, I was sat in the clubhouse in Bearscough. I sensed the mood before, at half-time and post-match, and it's definitely an atmosphere that resembles the situation that we were in when we knew we were relegated, and it's not a very nice feeling for anybody there, particularly the supporters. Forget how the club's being run, how it's, whether it's being run into the ground by any one particular person. There's an awful lot of work and hard effort goes into looking after the football club in every single aspect, whether it's being a supporter, being a committee member, volunteer or a player, committee, an awful lot of work, and it's just that atmosphere that we've been through before. It's a feeling of turmoil and disaster, and you've got to, even the hardest people in the world have got to really feel for those that are not accomplishing what they want.
I remember when we were going through it so much last season, and there was never an inevitability that we were going to get relegated, but I think that it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to finish either bottom or second bottom. And I think there was a brief window in February where we thought, we could lift ourselves up and off the bottom of the table, but that was kind of snuffed out. And even day to day, you turn up, you have a bit of a fresh feeling of hope, optimism, and then within about half an hour,
piddles on your chips.
Near enough. So I can understand just exactly how much this is hurting everybody associated with City of Liverpool at the minute. All the fans, all the volunteers, the management team, just everybody must be really feeling it.
I think where this lack of sympathy comes from is that there was an approach during close season to help City of Liverpool, and it apparently was rebuked. So
I see. In terms of a takeover.
Yes. Yeah, some kind of takeover.
Wow. Okay.
And it was pretty much snuffed out. I mean, the story at the time was that the chairman Paul Manning was willing to sit down and talk. Those conversations apparently never happened. So maybe that's where the lack of sympathy comes in, but either way, it's not good for those that have said. It was 10 years old now, something like that.
It was. City of Liverpool were created in 2015. Yeah. Anyway,
listen, very sad. But moving back to Chadderton, like I say, they're still in the chasing pack.
Very much so, yeah. So they've taken advantage of their games in hand that they've had. So they're now up to 6th place. Still got games in hand on FC St Helens, West Didsbury and Chorlton and Padiham, all of whom are above them. There's a couple of teams who've played a few less, but they are right in there at the minute, and by far and away the top goal scorers in the division. 74 goals plundered from 23 games.
Makes you wonder, though. They played Glossop at the weekend, and it was a 6-3 defeat. Glossop once again doing really, really well.
Yeah.
They're unbeaten in their last 4 games now. 3 wins and a draw. They're scoring goals now, which was the important thing. They've got 18 in the bag now, but they're still conceding a few as well, so they'll want to improve that statistic come the new year.
Well, yeah, they absolutely will. It's kind of part and parcel, for a team that are just sort of starting to turn it around. But it's good to see that they are scoring goals. So Ethan Sutcliffe is Glossop's top goal scorer. He's got 9 at the minute, 7 league goals so far to his name. He wasn't on the score sheet at the Engineering Stadium on Tuesday night when Glossop drew 1-1 with AFC Liverpool in front of a not too bad crowd either. 194 turned out in Glossop on a cold Tuesday night to witness quite a decent draw against AFC Liverpool, who we know are a particular threat, and their capabilities as a squad.
I think Elliot Taylor is he's the
second
big sort of talisman there, isn't he?
Very much so, yeah. So between him and Caleb Jones. Caleb Jones not so much on a hot streak these days as Elliot Taylor, but nonetheless, Jones has 10 goals in all competitions and Taylor has 25. So that's 35 goals scored just between those two, where AFC Liverpool have 40 goals all season. So that's
Caleb Jones, not to be confused with Caleb.
No, that's not to be confused with our Caleb Jones, who is our assistant manager. But nonetheless, a decent point for AFC Liverpool. Pops them up to 20th in the table, level on points with FC Isle of Man, who didn't play in the middle of the week, but did play at the weekend, and a very impressive result, if I remember correctly. I'm just having a look now. I think they beat... they beat AFC Liverpool at a cantering scoreline, 5-0 at the Bowl. Whilst
takes a bit of the pressure off them, doesn't it? Because they've had a difficult start to the season, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So their season has been one of real struggle. They got rid of their manager. Who's it? Sean Jones. Paul Jones, yeah.
We've had him on the show.
We have had him on the show. He was about a 4th or 5th guest, something like that, very early on in the Speaking Frankly days. I think he actually interviewed in 2024, which shows you how long ago it was. But nonetheless, his AFC Isle of Man team jettisoned his services, and under the new regime, they are starting to show a little bit of stability. So in terms of their last 6 games, they're unbeaten in their last 2, but are still leaking goals at a bit of a rate. 14 goals conceded in their last 6. So there's still a bit of work to do. But meanwhile, Glossop North End, it's all looking a bit rosy for them now, up to 11th.
Yeah. So listen, we'll move to the bottom of the table, because Litherland Remacher again going through a tortuous season. They continued with a 2-0 defeat at home to Longridge at the weekend. Abbey Hay are just above them, 1 point away from City of Liverpool, but they couldn't take advantage of Brodie's spanking. They were battered 6-0 themselves at Prestwich Hayes on Tuesday night. One feels as though City of Liverpool's minus 63 goal deficit could go in Abbey Hayes' favour at some point through the season.
I think that's a serious possibility. As we say, Abbey Hay have got 21 games to pull ahead of City and Liverpool. There's only a points difference between the pair now. I know that Brodie has some serious pedigree within the Premier Division, so this could be a real battle on their hands. I honestly don't think City of Liverpool could have done much better in terms of managerial appointments at this time than Brodie. But nonetheless, I think the goal difference, I mean, despite I think they may even be all set to concede 100 goals by Christmas, which would be utterly ludicrous. But even then, there's 2 teams that are relegated from the Premier Division. Now, whilst Little and Remica's fate looks ever increasingly inevitable, Abbey Hay and City of Liverpool could seriously be battling this one out for the entirety of the season. We don't know who's going to turn it around, if they're going to turn it around, how long it'll take. There's just so many unanswered questions here, but it's going to be really exciting.
Well, I think if they can get a little bit of stability there at City of Liverpool off the pitch, I think Brodie has got enough in the bank there, and with the team, I think he could do something. I think he can keep them up in the division. If he does that, that's like promotion winning material from his perspective. Really, really good on his CV.
As long as that material isn't fake.
Yeah, well, listen, yeah. Anyway, let's move it on to Division 1 North. You're going to trouble you. Ashton Town and Darwin both drew at the weekend, so there's no change at the top. Nelson's draw with Drogsden didn't help reduce the lead at the top either, so it was all sort of square in terms of points gained and points lost. We haven't talked much about Squiresgate though, unbeaten in their last 5 games, and now they found themselves in 4th place. Now we know they were relegated at the end of last season. Sorry, I'm right, aren't I?
Yeah, that's honestly, I have no idea where this turn of fortune for Squiresgate has come from, because I haven't seen it coming. To all intents and purposes, I thought Squiresgate was still down in about 13th or 14th position. But it probably shows you at this point how invaluable a couple of good results for yourself against poor turns of results for all the other teams around you, and what kind of effect that can have on your fortunes. Well,
I think we mentioned the difference between the top sort of 10, 11, 12. We're talking about the 13th place team has got 21 points. It's only 7 points behind Ashton Town at the top. It's
ludicrous, isn't it?
Well, like you say, 1 win, 1 defeat, 1 draw can make you can move up, 2 or 3 places with a point, and you could move back up into the playoffs with 3. It's
absolute bonkers, isn't it? Let's be honest here. But fair enough to Squiresgate. They are the form team at the minute as well. Just 1 draw and 1 defeat from their last 6 games. 12 goals scored and 8 conceded. And in Dean Ing, they have a very capable goal scorer. He's currently sitting 7th in the goal scoring charts with 12 goals, 11 of those coming in the Northwest Counties, 2 of which were scored at the weekend, whereas they cantered to victory, very impressive victory over Main Road by 4 goals to 1 on the score sheet in the 69th and 89th minute. So all 4 of those goals coming with 20 minutes to go, and the South Coast side now in the top 4. I don't think anybody saw coming, quite honestly.
Well, we do keep an eye on everything, but like I said, just purely based on the fact that there's not much difference in that sort of middle section. Well, in the top 13, it can change very, very quickly, so they carry on that. I think we always assume when a team comes down in non-league, they tend to sort of plummet further before they catch back up, which is very much the case for Skem United Football Club. But Squiresgate, I don't think we probably thought they were going to be bottom 5-6, didn't we?
Possibly, yeah. I think that's right. I think that's about right. They made a very slow start to the season, although the results sort of steadied and improved. They only did it on a microcosm of an improvement, which means we didn't really see it. We were too sort of busy with kind of Nelson's battle with Droylsden and Ashton Town to see who was going to reign supreme at the top of Division 1 North, and it seems like nobody actually wants to, because the arrangement of the table at the top just seems to change hands every single week based on results. Absolute mayhem.
It is, but listen, at the bottom of the table, it's not as sympathetic as the sort of the top 13 teams. Certainly down in the bottom three. So Ashton Athletic lost again away to MSB Walton 2-0.
Yes, they did.
Garstang just sit one place above them. They managed to secure a point at Bacup Borough. That's just a decent draw.
That's a very creditable draw, for Garstang, who were mired in the difficulties of the Division 1 North table last season. In fact, we took 4 points off them across 2 fixtures, but they seem to have steadied it a little bit this season. So Liam Clegg doing his best in front of goal for them. I think he's got 7 goals in all competitions, 5 of which have come in the Division 1 North, and they are still just a point ahead of Ashton Athletic, with Main Road a further 2 points ahead of them. So it's getting a little bit tighter down at the bottom between those bottom 3 teams. I'm not sure, given that they've already surpassed our points total for the season, I'm not sure whether anybody will be relegated from there this season. But you have to say, if they were going to increase any of the leagues within the Northwest Counties, you'd think it'd be Division 1 North. 18 teams, it just doesn't seem right.
Well, we'll talk about that more in a minute, but we'll go to Division 1 South first. The top of the table clash between Runcorn Town and Eccleshall. Eccleshall was an absolute classic. So the visitors, Eccleshall, went into a 2-0 lead, but Runcorn managed to claw the way back before the halfway time. Jordan Flatley got Eccleshall back on level pegging in the 53rd minute, but Sam Flower struck the lethal blow in the 81st minute to win the game for Runcorn Town. And by all accounts, both teams and both sets of managers, or all the sets of managers, singing the praises of both teams.
I think so.
For the performance,
fantastic one. Yeah, I don't know how you can argue with either of those teams playing really well on their day. Eccleshall are a bit of a team that we didn't really take too much notice of last season, despite them appearing in the playoffs. But with them being joined by Sandbach, Stafford, and Abbey Hulton United, who ended up winning it, we didn't really pay too much attention. But obviously, we had their manager on the show. Was it last week, the week before, something like that? It was last week. Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, we had him on the show, Liam Kelly, lovely fella. Clearly got his troops going in the right direction. The result, although very honourable, has dropped them down to 3rd, with Telford Town taking 3 points in their game.
They obviously took advantage of Eccleshall's defeat with a 4-1 win over Ormond on Saturday and a 3-1 win over Shawbury on Tuesday night. So they replaced them in 2nd place, but they're still 8 points adrift of Runcorn. Yeah,
who are starting to turn the screw a little bit on that Division 1 South title in much the same way that we saw Winsford do after the turn of Christmas. Are we starting to see it from Runcorn? I don't think it'll be quite that dominant, but I think that they're in a very good position to do it. 19 games played and just the 1 defeat all season. That's excellent form going into the Christmas break. Top goal scorers in the division and the meanest defence to boot.
Very well done. So listen, there's no change at the bottom. Wolverhampton Sporting Community lost 10-0 at home to Barnton on Tuesday night. Now, Jackie Hayes is the Wolverhampton Sporting Community boss. I'm hoping to have him on the show sometime in January. But like I say, Shawbury and Horman's losing streaks continue as they stay in the bottom 3 also, like I said, approached Jackie Jays, and I think he was a bit reluctant to come on the show at this period in time because it's really busy, and he's probably got a fair bit of work to do.
Oh, yes.
With sad state of affairs when you're losing games as heavily as that. We've been there. We lost 10-1 to Warrington Rylands last season.
Warrington Rylands, though, it's a step 4 team, isn't it? I think
every defeat hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I can completely understand it. But again, we're sort of begging the questions of Wolverhampton sporting community and their current place within the footballing system. So they're bottom of the table, which was where they finished last season. 1 win out of 20 games, 21 goals scored, 77 conceded, which isn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination, although it is incredibly concerning. But a 10-0 defeat here in front of 23 fans. Now, I get it, it's Tuesday night, but by contrast, Shawbury United's game against Telford Town garnered 162 fans, and Sandbach playing out an epic against Stockport Georgians in front of 111. Just 23 turning up at Sporting Community, and we've seen it before this season where they just had 15 turning up. There's some big question marks hanging over Wolverhampton Sporting Community.
I know we don't talk about this a lot, but I think it was sort of hinted at it in terms of the North West Counties Premier Division and the Midland equivalent. But are we still thinking that Division 1 South is the easiest of the two leagues?
I don't think...
Can we justifiably say that?
In terms of a North versus South divide, or a North West Counties versus...
Well, how would Runcorn Town fare in the North West Counties Division 1 North? It's an interesting one.
Top 8. I think top 8.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's not the greatest question to ask because you don't know for certain.
No.
But I think if you look outside that top 2 or 3 teams there, I think everybody else struggles in the North Division.
I don't think you're too far from being correct, really. I think Stafford would probably do all right. But other than that, I think it would be... And this is the difficulty that North West Counties Division 1 South is having with their current boundary issues going on around Shropshire and Staffordshire, who of course are caught up within the Midland League. But I know the battle lines are going to be redrawn, as was pointed out by a joint statement from the North West Counties and the Midland League. And whether that'll stand any of these teams in kind of good stead going into the future, whether they get moved laterally or whatever happens from it. But I think we've kind of known that whilst the quality is there in the Division 1 South, the support and the following I think is diluted in a way that we talk about the football in Liverpool being.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, which sort of segues to something that will make sense really, because Widnes Town, the newly formed Widnes Town, who appointed former Skem manager Paul McNally as their new manager, I think they've unveiled, or they're certainly about to it, and I hope I don't get myself into trouble here, but youth team manager of the ESPFA team for Skem United, Graham Hastings, is likely to be announced as their number 2, which makes sense. Paul McNally and Graham Hastings have gone sort of hand in hand wherever they've been, whether it be Skem, City of Liverpool, and of course now Widnes. But we're talking about sideways movements, we're talking about promotions, possible promotions. We know that Widnes Town, or we believe that Widnes Town have applied for the North West Counties or are applying for it, and of course Flixton as well. So all those, whether the ramifications of... Well, I think I mentioned it in a few shows ago, where I thought to myself, well, we'd have been better off going out of business for a year and reapplying for the North West Counties. I don't know how this is going to work, but I think it's high time that we got somebody on from the North West Counties that could explain how it works.
Okay.
Because we do know, if you go back historically, then FC United of Manchester, when they formed, I think the consensus of opinion was they wanted to get into the Northern Premier League straight away. They didn't. They were dropped down to the Northwest Counties.
Yeah.
But technically, they should have started at Step 7. Their argument was, listen, we're going to have 2,000-3,000 travelling supporters. Can these hubs accommodate a team of our stature?
Probably
now,
not.
I think if there's, like I said, if there's availability and it's not at the cost of another team that could be reprieved, then I'm more than happy to see those clubs come into the Northwest Counties. Other than that, I'm not.
Okay.
But listen, we need to, sometime in the new year, we need to get somebody from the Northwest Counties on that. Maybe you can explain that. What the rules are. I've heard a rumour that if you prove that you've got more than 50 travelling supporters to your friendlies this season, then you've got a good chance of putting yourself in the shop window. I don't know how true that is. That might be a load of baloney, but never mind. But anyway, it's a question that needs to be asked certainly next year. So listen, we've rounded up the Northwest Counties, and we've mentioned Widnes which segued well with what you were talking about with promotions and the amount of teams in the Northwest Counties, Division 1 North and South. So listen, we'll move on to the FA Trophy, and what a result for Sean McConville's Clitheroe. Yes, well done to him.
Huge round of applause.
They managed to beat
York
National
City.
League Premier outfit, York at Shawbridge. They were rewarded with an absolutely mouth-watering fixture away to Scunthorpe.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sean...
What was the official crowd first?
I don't know. I
think
it was something around about the 2,200 mark, but I'm not 100%
that's amazing,
sure
isn't it?
on it. Yeah, it's a stunning turnout at the Loom Loft Stadium. There, we knew it was going to be big. We knew York were going to bring an awful lot of fans, but I don't think anybody expected. Clitheroe to take the fight to York in such a way. They didn't fear them, not by any stretch.
It was decided on penalties.
It was decided on penalties, and maybe it shouldn't have been. Clitheroe took the lead with about 10 minutes to go. An absolute brilliant run and finish from all of 25 yards from Leon Creech, who was only just coming back from a fair bit of time out through injury. Absolutely brilliant goal. Now, York equalised in, I think, about the 6th minute of added time, which would normally deflate the team completely. If you imagine how much of a sucker punch that is to then have to go through penalties. Now,
for context, there was no extra time.
There is no extra time at this stage of competitions at this level. But
I think that's a great level. I mean, considering that they did concede a goal so late on, the chances of them winning it in extra time, the fact that they didn't have extra time has played basically into their hands, because we know that penalties is such a lottery.
It is such a lottery, yeah. But Sean decided to take control of that lottery. So when it came to penalties, he chose the penalty takers so that if they didn't win, he would take the rap for it rather than have his players face the fire. And I think that's such a selfless act as a manager, that he was willing to do that for his squad. I mean, you're putting aside the fact that it's actually an achievement in itself for a team from the Northern Prem West to take a high flyer from the National League North. So that's what, two places?
No, National League.
National League proper.
Premier,
so that's what, 3 divisions above?
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 divisions above. So that's stunning in itself. Okay.
Well, context, that's like a League 2 team beating
a Premier
League team in the FA Cup.
Quite so.
That's happened before as well.
It's happened this season. But nonetheless, it's wonderful moves from Sean McConville there, as they beat York. That was their 8th game unbeaten, just to add a little bit of a cherry on the cake. And yes, they've been rewarded with an away tie at Scunthorpe United, whose Attis Arena can hold 4,500 fans.
Do we know what they're averaging at the moment?
About that.
Oh, well.
So Scunthorpe went up from the National League North to the National League proper last season through the playoffs, and the average gate has increased with that. So they're now on about 4,400 average attendance.
Brilliant.
Okay, so that is a mammoth task for Sean McConville's Scunthorpe, but after Sean McConville's side, but after having beaten York, they're not going to fear anybody.
No,
now,
it's a big payday for them.
It's an enormous payday, yeah. So they did come back down to earth a little bit in the middle of the week. They were beaten 2-0 away at Runcorn Linnets, but general consensus of opinion is there's absolutely no shame in that whatsoever. I mean, putting aside the fact that Runcorn Linnets are a really decent side, the physical and emotional toll that game on Saturday would have taken out of the players and the management staff, you can probably, in fact, you can excuse a defeat to Linnets there. It does leave Clitheroe 12th in the table, so comfortably mid-table, but plenty of momentum behind them.
Yeah, and looking at our two local clubs as well, Marine and Southport also progressed with wins over Curzon, Ashton and Leektown respectively. Radcliffe unfortunately were edged out on penalties at Hereford, but no disgrace there whatsoever.
No.
And just looking ahead of the National League North fixtures, Marine's Boxing Day fixture against Southport is sold out. There's a 2,300 capacity there. That's
wonderful.
An absolute amazing prospect there. It's going to be one hell of a game.
It should be one hell of a game, yeah. So in the midst of that, both the teams will be celebrating the fourth round draw, with Marine being drawn at home to Gloucester City. And Southport, well, they're on the road. They're going to go all the way over to Eastleigh to take them on in the fourth round. And obviously the pick of the ties comes with Clitheroe having drawn Scunthorpe United away.
Nice post-Christmas holiday for them there, going all the way to Eastleigh.
What a wonderful trip that will be. Eastleigh is...
South Coast. It's
really?
Is it Hampshire?
Is it Hampshire?
Southampton way, is it?
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a...
You double check that one.
That's a bit of a mooch if you're a Southport fan, so I hope they're going to lay on a couple of buses.
Yeah. But listen, meanwhile, we're talking about the Northern Premier League West there. Like you say, after the Lord Mayor's show, Clitheroe were beaten at Runcorn 2-0. And whilst all that was going on, Michael Jolly was sitting in the stands on Saturday, possibly contemplating his resignation. But Bury managed to beat Mossley 2-1. Lower Brett consolidated their lead at the top with a 3-2 win over Congleton. Also on Tuesday night, and Bootle battered Newcastle Town 5-0 at the weekend. And we've just mentioned Michael Jolly there, which segues really nicely to the controversial corner.
So Eastleigh is a town in Hampshire, sandwiched between Southampton and Winchester. But carry on.
So, listen, we move on to the controversial corner, and we'll talk about Bury Football Club first of all. Following the early resignation of Michael Jolly, Bury Football Club can confirm that Tim Lees will step up to the first team management role on an interim basis until the 25-26 season ends. Tim has been highly valued member of the club's football staff and brings continuity, commitment and a deep understanding of the club's values and ambitions. His appointment ensures stability as the team continues its work on and off the pitch for the remainder of the campaign. Tim will be supported by ex-Skelmersdale United football goalkeeper Sam Ashton, who will play a key role within the first team setup and provide additional experience and continuity during this interim period. We'll briefly gloss over the issue of Michael Jolly and the allegations and revelations that he sort of ended up in a situation where he had a underage sex with a 15-year-old back in 2009. Yep. Listen, we can't really have an open conversation about it without, appearing to be apologists. But what we do say is that the courts did feel as though had he known the real age, he wouldn't have entertained having a relationship with her.
No, he wouldn't. And also, he was cleared to continue to work in the capacity for which he'd built a career by both the Scottish Football Association and the English Football Association as well. How do you think Bury have done here?
Well, listen. First of all, if I was chairman of Bury Football Club and I was aware, well, listen, as my capacity as chairman of Scum United Football Club, if I had the opportunity to interview Michael Jolly for the Schem job, and given his background, I wouldn't have taken him on.
Okay.
I wouldn't have taken him on because of, as we've seen, the repercussions through social media and the adverse publicity that brings to a football club.
Yes.
I don't think there's any winners in that situation. One, maybe he underestimated Michael Jolly himself. Yeah. The backlash that this would receive.
Yeah.
But is it a good look for Bury Football Club? No, it never was. I don't think they looked at it hard enough, thought about it long enough. Yeah. I don't suggest for 1 minute, because they took him on, that they were apologists themselves.
No, for what he'd done.
They probably took him on based on his record within football as a manager.
Yeah, had a good spell at Burnley with the under-23s. Had a slightly less successful spell at Grimsby Town Football Club. Had also worked overseas in Sweden and done...
And Spain.
Yeah, Sweden and Spain. Yeah, done okay by all accounts. But was this maybe a step too far within his managerial career? Should he have, knowing his own past, should Michael have taken this job on?
And I think something that I'd read somewhere, that back round about the time he was appointed by the Grimsby Town, there was a backlash then. The newspapers involved at the time had to issue an apology. Yeah. Listen, like we've said, it's a difficult conversation to have, and what happens from this point onwards, it's the end of his career, I would imagine, isn't it, in football, full stop?
Possibly, yeah. I think when it came to Grimsby, he managed 79 games between March 2018 and November 2019. So that's about 18 months. He won 29, drew 16 and lost 34. So that's a win ratio of about 37%. So overall, it's not exactly spectacular viewing, but I think stepping into a manager's job with the past that you've got is a very, very difficult stream to navigate, and I think for a team that Bury are, with the size of their fan base and how full-throated and vocal they can be in contentious decisions, I think that was a very irresponsible move, I think, by the leadership team and Bury, who now have to face the consequences of that.
So if you take away that past, as we've mentioned, you actually look at his record and the fact that he's never really been involved with a non-league football club either at this level. So I think a lot of the criticism that was aimed was his lack of ability or understanding of the non-league system as well. So purely based on that, it was probably a bad decision. I think Bury Football Club appear to be making an awful lot of mistakes that are publicly sort of lashed out on social media, and I think they need to get their act together from the bottom. The other thing is, I keep saying it, when you're a community-run football club, it's not a community-run football club, but a fan-run football club, I think some of the decisions that you make are stifled by the fact that you're worried about the next vote that comes in. So even when you want to overstretch the mark and make a decision that you think is good for the benefit of the football club, when it comes to votes, you quickly have to backtrack, and I think they lost favour with their supporters very, very quickly.
They've lost a lot of favour with their supporters. Yeah.
But there's still that infighting going on, as we know. It's not a very good fit for Bury.
It is quite a long-running civil war going on in Bury at the minute.
And doesn't help the longevity, does it?
No, it doesn't. No,
from a fan perspective, a fan-run perspective, something's got to change somewhere, because the powerhouse having the ability to make decisions, but then fall foul of your supporters because you think you've made the right decision on their behalf, and they don't believe it. Then you've got to backtrack to curry favour with the supporters.
And I think that is what has happened here. Is they've kind of listened to the will of their fan base. Overwhelming majority were vehemently against the appointment of Jolly. But what they've done now is by confirming Lee's appointment till the end of the season on an interim basis, they probably supplemented that backlash, if you like. He's a very popular figure within the club and within the name of Bury FC. I think he'd done reasonably well within his previous tenure between the movement of McNabb and the appointment of Jolly. He'd done reasonably well, so it's probably a bit more of an opportunity for him to kind of put his name forward for a permanent candidacy.
What we're saying is they're probably giving themselves... Bury supporters would probably like to see, Morley and Johnson back in the equation. We don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Maybe contracts are to be renewed at the end of the season, and maybe that opens the door for them to come. So this might give a little bit of daylight. It certainly buys them a little bit of time.
It does.
I would have thought. So on reflection, not such a bad decision. And if it works out well, and who knows, they get promoted off the back of that. Like you say, Lees and Sam Ashton, very, very popular figures at the football club. Yeah. If they get it right between now and the end of the season, that poses another question, regardless of whether Johnson and Morley are available for the gig.
I think, like you say, if Tim Lees does relatively well, stabilises the club within the playoffs, I don't think he does his chances of being given the job on a full-time basis any harm at all. Like I say, I think he's a very, very popular figure within the club. So I think there's every opportunity he has to put his name forward. I think from a Bury perspective, I think they need to kind of address the Jolly situation in a bit more detail, because there are now a lot of questions rising as to why was he appointed, given his past. And I know that people will say, given what transpired within the courts, should he still be allowed an opportunity to work within football? And these are the kind of questions that they have to answer.
Because there has been a few in favour of giving the man another chance.
And from as I say, from what happened within the courts, is there a reason to understand that he could be given a second chance within football? He was continuing to manage for a further decade after all of this had happened, like I say, with Grimsby and with Barrow, but his evident lack of knowledge of the non-league system, again, probably.
Listen, I think the mistake was made by taking him on in the first place, and it doesn't really matter what your politics are as regards to whether because the courts were sort of more favourable towards him. I just think it just doesn't at this.
At a club like Bury, it doesn't.
Well, the size of the crowd and the backlash from the crowd, and we know very unforgiving audiences, football supporters. It was just it was a bad move by Bury Football Club, and you hope that they learn valuable mistakes from this. I don't even think anymore that the argument is should or shouldn't they. I think it's just the fact that they've made a mistake and they've got to find a way of moving on now. I think it's the end of the career, end of the road for for Jolly in this at this level of football, and whether he can carve out a career somewhere else. Listen, he's a bright man, and we can earn money in some other fashion. But it's not from the main stage of football.
I think you're about right. Yeah.
I think we leave that there. Park the bus.
I think
move
so.
On to other controversial
Farsley Celtic,
Farsley Celtic. We haven't really featured them much, other than the demise of them, and at the time we spoke to their former owner,
Paul
Barthorpe, who we mentioned before. Obviously, they've come to an agreement now. Farsley Celtic went out of business at the end of last season. Premier League goalkeeper David Stockdale took over the running of the men's first team last February. So he's now taken ownership alongside his wife Katie Stockdale, who will serve as chair in the newly formed club. So a takeover has been in the works since the summer, which has now been completed, involving the purchase of FC 2010 Holdings Limited and bringing an end to the company that previously operated as Farsley Celtic. So they will now be known as FC Farsley Sports Club, to bring back football to the beating heart of the Farsley community. Interesting one.
It's a very interesting one. The name change is quite dramatic, isn't it? It's a throwback to kind of the late 1880s, 1870s when teams were changing their names like no tomorrow. Newton Heath became Manchester United, Dial Square became Woolwich Arsenal, and then Arsenal. So they're actually liquidating the old company, and this is a start afresh. So I don't know where they apply for them. Northern Counties East. I don't know if they're going to go semi-pro already. Do they have the following? Do they have the money?
Ground. They've got the ground.
They do have the Citadel, which is now operational.
And they've got a big community. So the community activity of the football club, the ladies teams, all the junior teams, that's continued at Farsley. I think what it was initially, they weren't allowed to get a license, were they? So
that's right, to operate between step 3 and 6.
Yeah, so they just stepped out completely.
They did, they withdrew.
And gave it a season's grace, which what they've done. I think they probably, let's see what was their press release. It was, our vision is to create a leading grassroots sports club that transforms lives through sport, community engagement and social responsibility. We want to create a lasting legacy where everyone, regardless of background or ability, feels valued, supported and inspired to reach their full potential. As well as football, we hope to see all kinds of different sports being played here by people of all ages and abilities alongside wider community activities. We'd love to hear people's suggestions on what sports and community activities they would like to see here. So they're certainly they're using the right buzzwords, aren't they, that are going to get the community
back in their favour. And coming back to FC Farsley Sports Club.
Yeah.
God, I'm going to have a nightmare remembering that one. I'm just going to keep wanting to call them Farsley Celtic.
Listen, we never mentioned this, but if you were going to revisit because we talked about guests at the start of the show, I'd love to revisit Paul Barthorpe now and see how he feels and
how he's getting on, just in general.
Because
he's another one who sort of disappeared out of the spotlight, really, isn't he?
Well, he didn't sort of stay in the spotlight, did he? Because nobody really approached him. They argued against him.
Yeah, they
were quite critical of him. But we were the only ones that really got that sort of cue, weren't we? The interview and sort of felt sorry for him to a degree, and that's where we feel Paul Manning deserves an opportunity to tell people what's going wrong with City of Liverpool, where we like to feel as though we are a really sort of fair and square kind of platform for people to not fight back, but to give their side of the story.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. We are the Piers Morgans of non-league football, aren't we?
And listen, of course, David Stockdale would be a good guest to have on as well see what their plans are for the future,
or even his wife Katie.
Even his wife Katie, now that she's going to become the chair,
one of the very rare female chairs of a football team.
Yeah. There's not many. Well, I think it's growing a little bit. You know what I mean?
A little bit longer. Yeah.
I mean, the most famous chair of a non-league football club was Karen Baird, who used to be the chair at Salford.
All right.
She was originally the chairperson when they were in the Northwest Counties, Northern Premier. Can't remember which one. Northwest Counties it was, right. I think. And then she continued in that role when the class of '92 took over.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if you watch the class of '92,
Was she in there?
lovely lady, did a great job with the football club.
God, I didn't know that. I actually didn't. The only one that I can think of, there's two. One of whom we tried to get on the show and is chairperson of a team in the Northern Counties East, and the other one is Carnforth Rangers, who actually aren't semi-pro. They are in the amateur division, but their entire setup of committee and directors is almost entirely female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're talking about sort of powerful figures within football, aren't we? There, so Karen Brady was one of them. She was at where was she? Birmingham.
Karen Brady was Birmingham. Yeah, West Ham more recently, but yeah, Birmingham.
Yeah, is she still active? Is she?
I think she's still at West Ham. I think, and then you had. I mean, it's not quite the same, but Amanda Staveley most recently at Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for the name of... I can't remember the name of her, and I should do, because she was involved with Scam United Football Club as well. And that was the director of football. And it was Dave Whelan's sort of left... what would you call it? Lieutenant?
Right hand.
Right hand,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word, but... just trying to remember her name. She was actively involved for a long, long time with Dave Whelan at Wigan Athletic.
Oh, okay.
Just go on. Let's think of it.
Oh,
Brenda Spencer.
oh, right. Okay.
So Brenda Spencer was the non-executive chair of the main club board. Alongside Sarah Guilfoyle, who was the managing director.
Mm-hmm.
So they were involved for a long, long time she was, certainly Brenda Spencer was, and had some kind of involvement at Skelmersdale United Football Club, I would say. Certainly a big supporter. There's a lot of powerful women within football, and I think it will only continue, won't it?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think we're operating this kind of growth for ladies within the men's game, and like I say, I think we're only going to get bigger for that.
Yeah. So listen, we'd like to have a balance on here. We have approached women before, and not managed to get anyone, but we want women in football to apply for the show. Anybody that wants to come on the show, drop us a line and let us know. We'll try and fit you in with our schedule next year. But let's have a few more women on the show, because women are playing a big part in football.
Massive part in football. Yeah, we're getting obviously the game, the ladies' game is always growing, and particularly since England have started winning things. But now it's becoming much bigger than that. We're now seeing ladies within the men's game either as a official or as a part of the coaching staff. And I think, like I say, it'll only grow from there. But it would be brilliant to hear from a lady's perspective just how they feel working within the men's game.
Yeah, most definitely. Listen, we come into that sort of the final parts of the show now, where we talk about fixtures, predictions, and our expert analysis. But at this stage, we talk about Skelmersdale United Football Club first and foremost, and a really, really difficult defeat to handle. The defeat at the weekend against Halewood Apollo that managed to do the double over us. So
that game was really disappointing for a number of reasons. We didn't play as cohesively as what we normally do, and we'd shown signs of terrific play in the fixture beforehand, which was against Sefton Athletic, where we lost 3-1. So, having retained most of that squad for the game, and added in a few players returning from injury, and also a couple of new signings in there as well, I honestly thought that we would be in with a chance of winning that game. But we just played so inconsistently. It just looked really clunky. And
so context, we're 1-0 down in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning on goal is CJ, and he gets hacked down. The bloke gets sent off. They're down to 10 men.
Yeah.
We had a chance just on the stroke of half-time.
We did, yeah. The free kick didn't come to anything, unfortunately, but then the referee blew his whistle and off we went.
Yeah, so second half, we conceded an early goal in the second half, I believe, and then they go down. So we're 2-0 down, and they get a man sin-binned as well.
As well as having also lost another
so
player
they're down to 9 men.
Having used their substitute as well, who came on in the first half for their tricky right winger, who'd been causing us problems. So all the hands of the deck were starting to stack in our favour. And at the half, all we needed was a goal. We didn't get it. And then on the hour mark, they scored a second goal.
We didn't really test them other than that. I think
Toby
had a one-on-one, didn't he?
And that was it.
That resulted in a corner, did it? That took a slight deflection. I can't remember now. But I think we've agreed that from a fitness perspective, we look like one of the fittest teams in the league. Technically, we have the technical ability. You question whether we have the drive and the balls, to carry something through. We certainly know from the game against Granby Toxteth that we could win a game from by coming from behind.
We did the same against Daysbrook.
Yeah, we did the same against Daysbrook as well. So we know what we can do. It just seems that when we go 2-0 down, that's it. Well, the house of cards collapses. And I'm not saying that there was no effort there, because there obviously is. There's people like CJ, doing a particularly good job running his socks up. Brandon Carrington, Sam to a degree, running a little bit around like a headless chicken in many ways, chasing lost causes. And then we look at spatial awareness and those that the better players, where we expect them to judge where the ball's going, they don't quite find it.
No.
They don't quite sort of recognise what they should be doing, and it all seems to go to seed. And listen, what we don't detract from is the fact that we know that players don't go out deliberately to lose games, and they don't stay in a football match intending to lose a game, but they need to find the ability to turn things around. And I've said this before from a psychological point of view. If you're 2-0 down with half an hour left to go, make that half an hour the best half an hour that you've had in that game. Concentrate on the next 5 minutes. Make the next 5 minutes, then the next 5 minutes after that, and keep doing that and improve it. Don't let your heads go down. Psychologically, I think we browbeat ourselves. I don't know what you think.
I think that's part of it, really. I think we didn't use the ball near enough as well as what we had done in the game against Sefton. We weren't giving Toby a lot of service. We weren't getting bodies in to support in the attack. And they had one attacker up front who just managed to do so much damage. His physical capabilities, his running, his movement with the ball. He had an awful lot going for him, but he wasn't spectacular by any stretch. He just did enough to worry our players, to the point where frustrations, boiling over, players are getting booked, fouls are being committed, things like that.
Do you think we played a bit of too much of a high line defensively?
I don't think so. I think
we relied heavily on Fitzy to sort of head everything, didn't we? And there was them big gaping gaps between the rest of the defence.
I don't. I think the positioning of the defensive line was quite
shambolic.
I was going to say unimpressive, but maybe shambolic as well. I'm not entirely convinced that the midfielders that we had in the middle there did enough to kind of support them and create a buffer between the Apollo defence and an Apollo attack. And I was so disappointed with the fact that they were down to 10 men. A lot of their players weren't available because they'd gone to watch Liverpool at the same time. and yet they were still, taking us to pieces on
because
the
it was
attack.
a weakened team, if nothing else.
It was a weakened team, and we didn't really have that excuse. We had a couple of new players in, but to a man near enough.
Can I mention the couple of other players? So at the end of the game, and I'm not picking on Sam Wood, but Sam Wood came to me and he said, "Listen, I worked me damn socks off. I'm leaving the football club." He's left. And he said, I'm doing an awful lot of travelling. He said, but I'm doing far too much running for everybody else here. He said, and it doesn't help the fact that, there's a big change in personnel every game that we play. Well, I have to say it that if and I'm talking in terms of loyalty, because I do pay for training. If you don't turn up for training, it's very, very difficult to gauge players. So the only opportunity you have of seeing how these players perform is by actually putting them on the pitch in a game if they're not turning up for training. And the mentality of some of these younger players is now they'd sooner play academy football somewhere else or 5-a-side, 6-a-side with the mates. And this is a step up. We're vying for semi-professional football. We want to get back into semi-professional football. Man up a little bit. Be what you want to be. If you want to be, let's remember that there's a lot of players that have stepped up from youth football and they've gone directly, so they didn't get involved with academies. I'm talking about likes of Sean McConville's when they stepped into Skem United Football Club from Bearscough, and the likes of Craig Noon that went to Bearscough before he was elevated to Southport, Plymouth and the Premier League. They didn't faff around with kids football. Academy football. At the end of their 3 years there is no guarantee they're going anywhere. If they're just going there to get their city and guilds or whatever they call it these days, just to play football for the next easy 3 years of their lives, if they've got real talent or ambition, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here, but I'm saying if they've got real talent and ambition and they want to play further up the non-league pyramid, then they need a reality check, and now is the time to do it. Don't faff about with it. Skelmersdale United Football Club is 143 years old. It's the second oldest institution in Skelmersdale. It deserves a hell of a lot more respect than a lot of these players are giving it. And it's about time you stepped up and wore that shirt with pride. We don't give up. We're protecting a legacy. And if this is a little rant, then listen to it. I doubt you will, because I don't think the current crop of young players care as much as back in the day. When I was first involved with Skem United Football Club, it's a totally different landscape now. It's annoying. It really cheeses me off. But like I say, it doesn't matter how talented you are within a bunch of players when other players are not doing the business. Yeah. If you're part of that group of players and you lose, your
failings are reflected, aren't they?
You're just as responsible. So any a player that leaves the football club now because he's given up, and yet listen, okay, I'm saying it to Sam in particular and Harvey. I know Harvey's going travelling, but I'm saying to them that if you want to make a good fist out of things and you want to turn the fortunes of Skem United football, don't blame it on everybody else. You're part and parcel of the demise of Skem United Football Club. And I don't know what you think of what I've just said. But I've said I'm not going to edit the show.
No. So last week's game against Apollo was the first time that I left the game before the final whistle. I left after 75 minutes. I watched the penalty get stuck away, and then I'd had enough. I left because I hated seeing
I've never seen you as upset at a game, and you have been upset before, and I could see that. I didn't realise at the end of the game that you'd gone, but you know why? Because I spent that much time ranting and raging, and I promised myself after the first game at Marine that I wouldn't do the same thing again. I did, and I hate myself for it. But equally, I think to myself, at least I'm showing passion where it's lacking on the pitch. Show as much passion as us. Put as much effort into what we're trying to achieve, and then we all together. And listen, we know we're not always going to get it right, but we've got to start getting it right somewhere. There is enough talent within that group of players.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But I thought at first, because I did realise after the game that you'd gone earlier, and I'm thinking to myself, I was standing very close to you, and I was thinking to myself, he's heard me swearing again, and he's thought, I'm not listening to this.
Nah,
the chairman is an absolute embarrassment. I apologised at the end of it. I couldn't help it. I'm a passionate guy, but I thought it learned me lesson from... If anybody feels this is a walk in the park, being the custodian of a football club, it isn't. It hurts. It hurts like hell. And when the support's dwindling, and listen, I'll have a knock at the support as well. That's entirely up to them. Come back when you want. That's fine. Come back when you want. And largely, the critics have sort of kept away from it now. But you're part of the problem as well. You know what I mean? You're not helping by staying away. Listen, people will have their own reasons for not doing it. Travel, I can understand that. I've mentioned it with players not turning up for training. Family, work, work commitments, they come first and foremost.
Fair enough.
Family issues, anything like that. I can understand and I sympathise. But if you've been playing the night before and you've got a knock because you've been playing five-a-side, you're not taking Scam United Football Club serious. And that's why I'm upset, and that's why you were evident. I've never seen you as upset. So the minute that I could see you doing what I was doing, you were moving. You were moving backwards and forwards. You were pacing backwards and forwards like me, and you must have been as miserable as sin to leave that game early.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And I really didn't like feeling like that, because I haven't paid for anything, but I've, put heart and work into this club to try.
It doesn't matter how much money anybody puts into a football club. You could be Abramovich, put £1 million into a club and walk away and watch everybody else do the hard work. You're part of the hard work. This show, this podcast, it definitely publicises Northwest football in this area and further afield. It also gives a good platform to advertise and promote Skelmersdale United Football Club as well. And if anybody denies that there's a passion that we have for non-league football and for the football club, then they clearly don't know us well enough. And it hasn't taken you long to feel the hurt that all of us feel.
Yeah, it took me about 6 games through last season, and I was kind of embroiled in all the emotions that come with being involved in non-league football, both the good and the bad. And I was watching a video this morning of a couple of nights ago, and I sent it to you. It's one of my favourite players of all time, Roy Keane, who wasn't the flashiest of footballer. He wasn't the greatest. In terms of technical ability, in terms of centre midfielders, there were ones who were far greater than him, but nobody had a better work ethic than that man, and nobody set the standards of how to be a footballer better than Roy Keane, and I don't think anybody has since. And I know that he's a very polarising figure in terms of how he approaches players, and we're in a bit more of a day and age where a gentle arm around the shoulder is a more frequently used method of trying to change a person's attitude or their work ethic or their outlook. But there are players who I've seen come and go within Schem who don't want to try, they don't want to wear the shirt, they don't want to play and improve themselves and improve the club. I completely get it if you want to use Schem as a bit of a stepping stone to further your own ambitions within the non-league circular and be a
but wait until you're good enough to elevate yourself. You don't earn brownie points, but listen, there are exceptions to that. We know that. The likes of Harry Middlehurst now, he's plying his trade at Litherland Remacher in the Northwest Counties Premier Division, so he's took a step further up. And listen, we know he's got bags of potential. We really do, and we're not aiming our venting our spleen at the likes of Harry, because he's not a bench warmer, and Jason Clark, who's the centre half at City of Liverpool. Now, he's played consistently throughout the season. We're talking about people that have decided to go and walk to other clubs, sit on the bench just because they're in the Northwest Counties and warm that bench up forever and a day. I believe strongly that the team that Tommy Lawson put together last season, by and large, it certainly competes really extremely well in this division. We know that once you've relegated, you've no chance. If we can keep a team together and start winning games this season, and sort of float, then come next season that team has got real bags of potential. We know things are not going to happen overnight. It's not going to occur overnight. We know that, but there's got to be a level of patience. We're certainly trying to be as patient as we can, but but patience.
There's more of an expectation at this league that we were going to do better. But I know it probably underlines the reality of how difficult the Liverpool Premier League is, and I think that's something that we underestimated when we first arrived in here. But honestly, if you want to use Schem as a stepping stone, that's fine. You have to put 100% into the badge while it's here, though, because we have supporters literally paying to watch you.
And if people think that we don't run Skelmersdale United Football Club as a business, you need to give your heads a wobble. It might not be the business model that you want it to be. But listen, if anybody seriously wants to help Skelmersdale United Football Club, let's try to do it without caveats and gimmicks. Just come and help us. And listen, because football is a people's person, we're talking about people as well. Let's just say congratulations to one of our goalkeepers, Joe Langford, and his good lady wife, Letitia, who yesterday had their baby daughter. Congratulations.
She gave birth. Fabulous.
So that's their second child now.
Yes, it is.
So congratulations to them.
Huge congrats, Joe and Letitia. That's amazing.
So he won't be available at the game today. But listen, anybody that is going to the game and listens to the podcast early enough, it's Christmas Jumpers Day. If you get down there, we're all wearing Christmas jumpers. Have you been told about this before? Don't look at me odd. So I've got a new Christmas jumper and I shall be wearing my Christmas jumper tomorrow. I'll be going for the Tsffs Club. I'll be going for breakfast brunch at 10 o'clock at Wetherspoons. So if you've listened to this at 6:30, that's where I'm on my way off to. I'm trying to pretend that this is recorded just as we speak.
Spoons at Ormskirk, we'll be there.
Yeah, we're going to Spoons for a spot of brekkie. And listen, if you manage to get to the game tomorrow, old faces, new faces, whoever you are, listen, you'd be more than welcome. And if there's any mince pies or pizzas or if there's anything left over, listen, you're more than happy to join us in the boardroom at half-time and have a bite to eat. And of course, the players, after the game, will be going into the clubhouse and they'll be having their little night out. Those that listen, it's changed now, hasn't it? You used to get all the players kicking down the door to be part of the party. Now you're lucky if you get half a dozen. But listen, there'll be a little bit of food after the game, and listen, try and make the game tomorrow if you can, and give us a good send off for this year, because we play MSB Walton Reserves tomorrow. Not going to be an easy game because we've already been beaten by them once. But if we want to finish off 2025 with a win, please come along and help us.
Mm-hmm. That would really, help us get behind the team.
Yeah. So listen, we'll move on to the final part of the programme and our predictions now. As we know,
Northwest Counties,
I'm not doing particularly well, but listen, we are going to have to race through this because there's quite a few fixtures.
There's quite a few fixtures. So
there's 2 pages of it.
There is. So context for last week, I beat Frank on the predictions by.
You didn't have to say that.
Yeah, I did. 18 correct results there to Frank's 13.
Well, I've since been on the show and revisited last week's show and the predictions, and I think we have a liar amongst us.
Pardon?
I'm joking, but put you on the spot there, didn't
You
I?
absolutely didn't. I will defend myself to the hilt. Even I listened to the show back 3 times the other day just to confirm my results.
Listen, but I didn't look at Thursday night's result either way. Did Daisy Hill Longridge go ahead, or was it called off? So I haven't looked at the result for that one.
Oh, Daisy Hill
so
Longridge.
we're not predicting that one.
No, we're not. I think I think Longridge won by 2-1, but I'm not 100%.
No, it was called off.
Was it called off? Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was Waterloo pitch, which seems to be par for course. So listen, we couldn't even guess on that one. But listen, we move on to the Premier Division on Saturday today, of course. Glossop North End versus FC Isle of Man. I'm going for Glossop.
Yeah, me too.
Prestwich Hayes versus Barnoldswick. I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
Draw.
Right, now really good clash here at the bottom of the table there. Abbey Hay versus Litherland Remica.
I just can't see where Remica are going to get a win from at this point. I know that they've got 2 this season, 2 wins and a draw, but honestly, it just seems that every game is just a challenge in itself for the lads, and I really do feel for them because we had this the year before. But for me,
it's potential for being a draw, this, isn't it?
It possibly, and I would really like to see that. I'd love to see Jamie get a bit more, a few points in the bag, and get a bit more behind him. But for me, I just see Abbey Hay winning it, unfortunately.
Well, can I remind you of a scenario? Was it Main Road or Abbey Hay we beat last season?
Main Road.
It was Main Road, wasn't it? But
yeah,
we were in a similar position.
We were.
Last season we went to Manchester and we managed to get that fantastic win. So I'm going to go
they'd
for...
already beaten us 6-0 the month before.
Yeah, so but I'm going for Remy.
All right, yeah. Then.
AFC Liverpool versus Ramsbottom. I'm going for Ramsbottom.
I'm also going to go for Ramsbottom.
Bearscough Earlham. I'm going for Earlham on this one. Just don't see Bearscough beating them at the moment, but I hope they prove me wrong.
It was, yeah. I mean, the pitches are a bit contrasting because the Silver Street Stadium at Earlham is a grass, whereas Bearscough's is obviously a 3G.
And it'll be rather heavy tomorrow, I would imagine as well.
So I'm still going an away win. I think just Earlham just got too much in the tank.
Exton Villa versus Atherton Alar. FC St Helens versus Cheadle. I'm going FC St Helens.
Same.
Longridge Town versus Pilks. I'm going Longridge Town.
Draw.
Wow. South Liverpool versus Paddyham. I'm going Paddyham, but I wouldn't be surprised if South Liverpool get something out of that.
Well, maybe. Not an easy game by any stretch, but no. We'll have to see.
You going Paddyham?
Going Paddyham, yeah.
Stockport Town versus Charnock Richard. I'm going for a draw.
Draw.
West Didsbury and Chorlton versus Chadderton.
Ooh.
What a game that is.
What a game.
I'm going for a 4-4 draw.
Bloody hell, you're in a score prediction.
I'm being precise here. Now, listen, that will be, if it's a tie-break,
that's the fixture.
That's the fixture.
All right, I'm going to say 3-2 to Chadderton. They've got Lewis Byrne and they've got Benito Lowe versus West Didsbury and Chorltons of Jordan Lasbury and Victor Abadaki. So 4 of the most potent strikers in the division just facing off against each other at the minute. This is all going to be about the defence. And at this point, Chadderton have conceded 34 goals, West Didsbury and Chorlton 33. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, an away win, I'm saying.
Right, okay. So, First Division North, Ashton Athletic versus AFC Blackpool.
AFC Blackpool.
Droylsden versus Thornton Cleavies. I don't think this is going to be an easy game for Droylsden, but home advantage, I will go for Droylsden. Nelson versus Holker Old Boys. I'm going for Nelson. Steeton versus MSB Walton. I'm going for a draw.
I'm going MSB Walton.
Division 1 South Foleyvere versus Cheadle Heath Nomads. I'm going for Cheadle Heath Nomads.
Yeah, no Nomads.
Hormad versus Sandbach. Stockport Georgians versus New Mills. Stockport Georgians. Wolverhampton Casuals versus Shawbury.
Draw.
Well, I'm going for Wolverhampton Casuals on that one.
Very well.
The Edward Case Cup on Tuesday, which features Nelson versus Daisy Hill. Played at Daisy Hill.
Nelson.
That's if the game goes ahead, but I'm going to go for Nelson myself. So it comes to the Boxing Day fixture. So the Premier Division, West Didsbury and Chorlton versus Wythenshawe. Another fantastic game.
Wonderful game. I'm not really seeing who can stop the Wythenshawe train at the minute, so I'm still saying an away win there.
I think Wythenshawe will win that one. Atherton Alar versus Bearscough. It's a really tough Christmas fixture list for Bearscough. I'm going for Atherton Alar.
Gonna go for a
Atherton
draw.
Alar have already beaten Bearscough, haven't they? Is that right?
Did they? Oh, I didn't know that. Nonetheless, they are pulling results together. But with Everton they either win or they draw, or they lose. Sorry. And their defence isn't quite as solid as it was last season. But nonetheless, I will say a draw.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to Chadderton versus Prestwich Hayes.
Yeah, Chadderton.
You going for Chadderton? Yeah, I'm going for Chadderton. City of Liverpool versus South Liverpool.
Yeah, South
the derby.
The
big derby.
Is there a big derby? There's too many Liverpool-based derbies. South Liverpool.
I actually think that City of Liverpool are going to win that one. So I'm going for City of Liverpool. I know you're thinking in Barmy, but there you go. Exton Villa versus Charnock Richard.
Oh, that's a local derby in itself.
Yeah, I'm going for Charnock Richard.
Charnock Richard, I think.
Earlham versus Glossop North End.
Earlham.
I'm going for Glossop North End.
Just don't get beat at Silver Street, though.
I don't know. Padiham versus Barnoldswick Town.
Padiham.
Yeah. Pilks versus...
Another local derby.
Yeah, FC St Helens. That should attract a reasonably big gate.
You would hope so, unless they've all got bits to do on Boxing Day.
Division 1 North, which, listen, did we play on Boxing Day last year?
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We played... I
thought we did. I thought we played the following day.
Nah, McGull. McGull on Boxing Day. I wasn't here.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we were away, weren't we?
Yeah.
So, okay, listen. Bake Up Better, Borough versus Daisy Hill. I'm going for Daisy Hill.
Yeah, only just, though.
Darwin versus Nelson. I'm going for Nelson.
Belter, but Nelson.
Droylsden versus Main Road. Droylsden. Holker Old Boys versus Garstang. I'm going for Holker Old Boys. Squires Gate versus AFC Blackpool. No, you couldn't get much closer than...
Literally, you sneeze and the air particles carry over into the opposition stadium. That's how close they are.
Whose clubhouse will they be drinking in?
Ooh.
Whose is the best of the two? Anyway, so which one are you going for, a draw?
I'm going for a draw, me.
Yeah, it's got all the signs of a draw there. Thornton Cleaveys versus Fullwood Amateurs, the Filed Coast derby.
I'm saying a draw there too.
I'm going for Thornton Cleaveys. So Division 1 South, Asheville versus Camelaird.
Asheville.
I'm going for Camelaird. Eccleshall versus Market Drayton Town. Eccleshall. Stafford versus Foley Mere Stafford. Allscott Heath versus Telford. Barnton versus Runcorn. Well, you know what? Barnton just had a big, massive 10-0 win.
Well, yeah, but it was against the league's whipping boys. But it's not the same.
Gives you a bit of confidence, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
I'm going for Runcorn. Anyway.
I'm going for Runcorn.
Sandbach versus Alshager. I'm going for Sandbach. Shawbury versus Horman. Now that's the bottom of the table. It's going to go for a draw there. Wolverhampton Sporting Community versus Wolverhampton Casuals. Yeah, I'm going for them as well.
Yep.
So Saturday the 27th of December, Premier Division, Cheadletown versus Abbey Hay. I'm going Cheadletown.
I'm going Cheadletown.
Remy versus AFC Liverpool. I'm going for AFC Liverpool. Longridge versus Ramsbottom. FC Isle of Man versus Stockport Town. I'm going to go for the FC.
I'm also going to go for FC Isle of Man too.
So Saturday, Division 1 North, MSP Walton versus McGull. I'm going for McGull. Ashton Town versus Ashton Athletic. I think that's a no-brainer, that. Ashton Town. Steeton versus Con. I'm going for Steeton.
Going for a draw.
Yeah, so we move on to the New Year fixtures.
Because 2K26.
Our next show won't be until the 8th of January, so we're going to cover these ones. So the Premier Division, AFC Liverpool versus Stockport Town. I'm going AFC Liverpool.
I'm going to say a draw.
Barnoldswick versus Earlham. I'm going for Earlham. Charnock Richard versus Glossop North End. I'm going for a last gasp winner for Glossop North End.
A bit akin to the one that
we went
saw
to
last season.
Yeah. Were you going for Glossop as well?
I'm also going for Glossop.
Cheadle Exton. I'm going for Cheadle.
I'll go for Cheadle.
FC St Helens versus City of Liverpool. You've got to say FC St Helens, haven't you?
Of course.
Padiham versus West Didsbury and Chorlton.
The fixtures for West Didsbury and Chorlton do not get kind, do they?
No.
Because do you know who they've got next 3 days later?
Go on.
Rammy away.
Oh,
Oh my God.
So, which way do you see that going? I'm going for a draw.
I'm going to say a draw as well.
Pilkington versus Berscough. I'm going for Berscough.
I'm going to say Berscough. I think they've got to rest that slot somewhere.
Prestwich Hayes versus Longridge Town. I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
Draw.
Ramsbottom versus Remy. Ramsbottom. South Liverpool versus Wythenshawe. I'm going for Wythenshawe. FC Araman versus Chadderton. Going for Chadderton. So First Division North, AFC Blackpool versus Bakeup. AFC Blackpool.
Draw.
Ashton Athletic versus Holker. I'm going for Holker. Daisy Hill versus Ashton Town. I'm going for Ashton Town. Droylsden versus Garstang. Droylsden. Fulwood Amateurs versus Darwin. I'm going for Darwin.
Draw.
McGull versus Cone. I'm going for McGull. Nelson versus MSB Walton. Nelson. Steeton versus Squires Gate. Draw.
Squires.
Draw.
Draw.
Thornton Cleaveley's versus Main Road. Thornton Cleaveley's. Moving on to Division 1 South, Alsager versus Asheville. I'm going for Asheville. Camelaird versus Stockport Georgians. I'm going for Stockport Georgians. Eccleshall versus Shawbury. Eccleshall. Foley-Mere versus Allscott. Foley-Mere. Market Drayton Town versus Sandbach. I'm going for a draw. New Mills versus Wolverhampton Sports. New Mills. Telford versus Stafford.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a big derby.
Draw.
I'm going for Telford. Wolverhampton Casuals versus Cheadle Heath Nomads. I'm going for Wolverhampton Casuals, just to throw one out there. So Tuesday the 6th of January, Premier Division, AFC Blackpool versus Longridge. I'm going AFC Liverpool. Did I say Blackpool then?
Yeah, you did.
I mean AFC Liverpool. Barnsley Town versus Atherton Alar.
Yeah, I'll join you there.
Charnock Richard versus Chadderton. Cheadle versus Litherland Remaker. I'm going for Litherland Remaker.
Cheadle.
City of Liverpool versus Prestwich Hayes.
Prestwich Hayes.
Earlham versus Abbey Hay. Ramsbottom versus Westdedsbury and Chorlton. Ramsbottom for me.
Draw.
Withenshaw versus Pilks. Withenshaw. Division 1 North, Ashton Athletic, versus Steeton. I'm going for Steeton. Cone versus Nelson. Going for Nelson. Fulwood Amateurs versus Bakeup Borough. I'm going for Fulwood Amateurs. Holker Old Boys versus AFC Blackpool. Holker. Division 1 South, New Mills versus Runcorn. Going for Runcorn. Camelaird versus Wolverhampton Casuals. I'm going for Camelaird.
Casuals.
So Wednesday the 7th again, First Division South, Eccleshall versus Stockport and Eccleshall, and finishing those fixtures off, Telford versus Asheville. I'm going for Telford. So
I've put a lot of draws in there and now I'm regretting it.
Well, you did that with last week's, and
I called three.
That bravery served you well.
It did, yeah. To be fair, but there's an awful lot more draws this time around.
But this is for safekeeping. That nobody tidies up during the Christmas break.
In my pocket.
Otherwise, I'll lose it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to have to go back through this episode to try and figure out exactly what we've written down.
Yeah, wow. Definitely listen. So we get to the final part of the show, and listen, we obviously talk about what we've learned so far this week, and not so much what we've learned. What have we? I don't know. What's the wording for it? What are we feeling like? Mixed emotions. Long, hard year.
It's been a really tough year to be a Scam fan.
Yeah, we listened. We've ranted. Well, not particularly me. I've moaned a little bit about the lack of support by some people, but I must congratulate all those that have supported us throughout the season. Yeah. So, got to thank all our sponsors, of course. Our main club sponsor, Toad Valley Developments. We've got kit sponsors. We've got AdSpark. We've got the Speaking Frankly Football Show.
T&W Garners.
Who've been loyal to us for many years and decades.
And Piedra de Seda, who sponsor our training kit.
Yeah, we've got so many people to thank. People that have donated money towards the football club. Those that have invested in our race night. A big shout out to Lee Davis, who continues to raise over £5,000 a year for the football club. And we are truly indebted to Lee for that. We haven't seen so much of Lee in recent weeks and months, but we know that he still loves the football club.
And he's still as vocal
and
as ever
about it. And he's supported us from afar. And like I say, to those that have stuck by us and have been there and had to go through the same
tribulations.
So listen, I'd like to thank Kevin Fielding's one of them that stuck by us,
and his wife Dawn.
And Dawn, who's helping now with hospitality, of course. A big thank you to my wife Rowena for all that she does. We know she does the kit. We know that she does hospitality and catering.
She's just such a mom.
It's sort of sometimes wrong to blow smoke up people's backsides, but credit where it's due, and nobody could deny the fact that she's done a really great job. But let's talk about
one more thanks, please, to Stephen and Dave Lukins, who continue to support us up and down Liverpool. Never miss a game unless they're on holiday. Always stay for as long as they can. Just two very big characters within Skelmersdale United Football Club.
And listen, a big thank you to fellow board of directors, Derek Hunt, 85 years of age,
still going.
Unfortunately, laid low with a really bad bout of flu at the moment. So listen, get well soon, Derek.
Speaking of coffee to you, mate.
Pass our regards on to Craig Perry, all the hard work that he does.
Man as well, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. He does so much to look after the club and look after the players in particular. He's a.
Well, I've had him down the house today trying to fix me drippy tap. He came down to pick the kit up, and I just said to him, just take a look at me drippy.
Just have a look at me
drippy tap. And he did turn around and said to Rowena, I've only come down here to pick up the kit.
He's a joiner, isn't he? He's not a plumber.
I know, but he knows. Listen, he knows what to do as well. So I put it to him, and he told me what to do now. And I said, but listen. By the time I've met it, he said, don't go to the plumbers. Don't start anything at the weekend that you can't fix during the week, which is a valuable lesson to.
That's what we've learned.
So I'm not taking anything apart until next week.
My shower's now.
And even then, I might have to leave it longer than that because, of course, all the shops and places will be shut. So listen, big shout out to Danny, who's our General Secretary, on all the work he does behind the scenes. Andrew Shuttleworth.
Matchday Logistics, absolutely brilliant he is.
So if I've forgotten anybody, Elizabeth, who helps out on the big occasions, and of course James, who works on the car park in all the cold.
And as well, stadium management as well. He's one of a kind.
And I'd like to thank James and Paul Leary as well for giving us the opportunity to play at the Marine Travel Arena Stadium as well. Thank you to everybody that's been involved, all those people that have helped by putting money into the football club as well. You know who you are. I don't want to embarrass you by mentioning you by name, but there's a lot of people helping Skem United Football Club.
And also the current management team of Andy, Caleb, Josh and Eve as well.
And not to mention Barney, not forgetting Barney at the moment, who's been really, really busy with work commitments at the moment, but we're hoping he'll be some way back to form.
Somewhere in the somewhere on stage with Scam at some point soon
in the new year. So listen, thank you very much to all of that. So what have I learned? That it's been a really, really bad year, but I'm really, really grateful for all those people that have continued to support us through all the thick and major mainly thin of the last 2025. So thank you to everyone. It's a tough gig, but we're grateful to all those people that have supported us.
Yes, we are, very much so. In terms of what I've learned, football is a very, very, very unforgiving place, and people remember. Regardless of whatever team that you're in, whatever action has been taken, people will remember. They'll remember when you walked out on the club when it needed you the most because it just didn't suit you to stay. And they'll remember poor decisions that you made for the club's best interest, in inverted commas.
Well said, AJ. Listen, I'll leave the final thoughts to the very dulcet tones of AJ.
You've been listening to the final episode of the Speaking Frankly Football Show for 2025. This episode and all episodes that have been created so far are available on most streaming services wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Amazon Music. Please rate and review because we love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Please also subscribe so that you can hear firsthand when a new episode of the show has been released. Please also follow us on social media. We are there under the banner term Speaking Frankly Football Show, most prevalently on X and Facebook. And so on behalf of myself and Frank, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2026. Until then, bye-bye for now.